Hello there, my very good friends. On this news video, you cannot stop Charlotte Flair.
NXT Talent are dreading stand and deliver call time.
Netflix or WWE are retroactively adding a bunch of crowd noise and chants to old shows.
And TNA, then now forever again at TNA.
Well, what's wrong with them? What are they up to? They're strange. They make strange decisions. I'm Andy.
I'm Michael.
And this is the news. All right, let's talk about Charlotte Flair. Big Chaz, the Queen.
Yeah.
She's a 14-time world champion.
She do be Charlotte.
And she is hell-bent on becoming an 18-time world champion.
Okay.
Which he'll probably be, assuming John Cena beats Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's done an interview with The Independent here in the UK, where she's talking about how she was responding basically to John Cena, who was going, the other week, I'm going to ruin wrestling. I'm going to become a 17-time world champion, beat Ric Flair's record, and retire with the belt. Well, Charlotte has responded to that, saying, you can't erase history. The history is facts. And if you erase my dad, you erase me. It's not possible to erase the name Flair. She said, I plan on breaking my dad's record. That's something I want to do and will do. But if John Cena is the first to break it, well, I'm going to break John Cena's record. Charlotte Flair promising to become basically an 18-time world champion, which means she would need 4 more.
Yeah.
Because the record is currently shared by Rick and John Cena, 16. If Cena wins 17, obviously one more than 17 is 18. It's kind of a farce because Ric Flair had 24 world title reigns.
I was thinking that much. I'm only speaking in facts,
yeah.
But you're not.
You're not. This is made up WWE canon nonsense. Ric Flair has a lot more world title records than that. They're not all recognized. Mm-hmm. Because reasons, I guess. Because 16 is easier to break than 25, I guess, is probably the reason. But yeah, there you go. Promises is promises. I think she's definitely breaking that record.
Yeah, I think she'll do it.
Yeah.
We're not in the era anymore where 4 title reigns is someone's entire career and then some, especially when we're talking about Charlotte Flair. The amount of times, and that's one of the ways in 10 years you get to, what's she on at the moment, 14?
Yeah, 14.
That's how you get there, is by hot shotting the belt and winning it only to lose it in things like Money in the Bank cash-ins and the like. The only thing currently working against Charlotte Flair breaking that record, truthfully, is Charlotte Flair. This program with Tiffany Stratton has been divisive, to say the least.
Yep.
And it's going to be one of the ones that I think everybody will be leaning in on at WrestleMania, but it just seems so likely that she will not just get this upcoming title, but get, for the time being, any title she wants while she's still under contract.
Yeah.
It almost suits her character to have a title. She's put herself in that kind of very unique position of being better with a belt than without, even after the character, I'm going to say this, doesn't necessarily feel like she warrants one as much anymore.
Sure. She's had 14, that's a lot.
14?
That's a lot. 14's a lot.
She was trading it back and forth with Sasha Banks at one point. You've got the NXT ones to throw in there as well.
Divas,
She'll
technically.
Get it. She'll get it.
Yeah, she's definitely going to get it. I think she's going to beat Tiffany at Mania, which probably not the move I would make after making Tiffany look so weird during the whole...
Yeah.
She just looks so meek. Mm-hmm. You know what the feud does, actually, and this is a weird comparison, but it's reminded me a bit of Bayley and Alexa Bliss from back in the day. Was it 2017?
Yeah.
With the kendo stick and then This Is Your Life.
Yeah.
Charlotte's character has just been so domineering in it and reducing of Tiffany. Mm-hmm. That segment where she was sitting over her, going, Tiffany! I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then, of course, the sit down the other week where Charlotte it tore her to pieces on the microphone. Obviously, if Tiffany was more of an improvisational type of wrestler, maybe she would have fared a little bit better.
More years on the clock, maybe.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. She's only been doing this for 3 years. Yeah, I don't think it's something a lot of people will be rushing to see. No disrespect to Charlotte's abilities or anything like that, but her presentation is often very overwhelming. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I would bet a lot of money on her beating that in 2-3 years.
I think she might beat it by Christmas. We've tried to name the various people that could potentially dethrone John Cena if he wins that title. We didn't count Charlotte Flair, did we? Yeah. He told people, say my name, get it out there in promos. I've only got so many dates left. That's what Charlotte Flair's doing. Fair play to her for booking the big match in time for Christmas.
Say her name and she appears.
We believe in the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Still, apparently.
Sorry, Joe Henry.
Yeah, apologies to that one. If she now springs up, wherever you are, that's on us. We apologise.
Say her name, and she does the face.
She just takes it. She started doing that. that. She's like taking the spot that Stephanie McCare's recently got in her NXT. Halfway through matches where she's working the heel, she'll just babyface it up and then flip the whole crowd off. She's doing what she wants, Murray. It's real weird. Yeah, she's going to get 18 titles. Some other people that might get 18 titles because they're so young and they're in the business are the NXT roster. And there's been
all of them.
Every single one of them. There's plenty of time. And a lot of that. For some of them might start at Stand and Deliver. It is, of course, now the annual WrestleMania weekend event, even though it was named after a pirate-themed one, and it's 5 years later. But nonetheless...
That's named after a Rolling Stones song, so...
Yes, my apologies.
Yeah,
yes, I must surrender to that. Yeah, Elvis was Elvis. No, it's what's happened as the WrestleMania weekend has shifted over the years. You remember the years where the Hall of Fame might be its own event that got shunted onto SmackDown, and that's been moved around and stuff. NXT has occupied this weird but oddly quite satisfying spot on the morning of WrestleMania Night 1. For a lot of people, it's like the first event of the day. It gets people nice and wired. You can often just go from NXT straight to Mania if you're like kind of an NXT or a WWE superfan. It's a great time. I've kind of experienced it myself a couple of times to have like morning arena wrestling. Quite a strange thing. However, the West Coast might be the best coast for early show starts, but it is really pushing people here. WrestleVost last week dropped the little tidbit that it is currently due to start at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, the 19th of April. And what does a 9:30 show time mean? Well, a much earlier call time for the wrestlers.
They're going to be in that building at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It's not dark in Las Vegas for many hours of the day, but it still will be when they're filing at the T-Mobile. And Fightful has added to this a little bit on top of the WrestleVotes report, just to say that initially, Talent are, quote, dreading the call time for the show. So morale might have taken a little bit of a hit if this 9:30 time stays as is. Things can change. Things are still movable on the way to WrestleMania.
Plans change, pal.
I know somebody that will be very excited to attend NXT at 9:30, and that is a potentially very, very hungover Adam Wilborn, because he's going to be part of our massive live show in Las Vegas just 12 hours earlier. Vegas is amazing. We're going to be live in Las Vegas. WhatCulture.com/tickets for the biggest and best SmackDown watch along on a 50-foot screen in all of Las Vegas. We're going to be doing our stage show. We're going to be watching SmackDown, having food and drinks with all of you guys that want to come along. There's going to be Simon Miller Live Ups and Downs filmed for YouTube that you can get yourself in. There's going to be a WrestleMania preview podcast, all the magic of our live shows, plus a SmackDown watch along. It is indeed the perfect way to start your WrestleMania weekend. But have a pint of water when you get back to your room if you plan on going to NXT the next day. That's like 9:30 is a demonic time It's
for a wrestling show. It's like, if you want to get breakfast before that show, you're getting up at like 6:30.
I mean, it's Vegas, you'll find some, but
yeah, this is it. You'll be okay if you have the energy to do this. You will be okay. Gosh, 9:30. I mean, you can't even really have a beer. That's a bit much. Even though you're on holiday, having a beer at like 9 in the morning, that's just rotten.
I'm assuming the crew will have set up SmackDown the night before, so we'll just they can just keep that set the same and all that. So at least for them, that's not too bad.
It'll be chill.
But old Shawn Michaels will have loved this. He wouldn't have even been to bed by this time. But this generation Shawn Michaels will even make it on time.
Chef Michaels, he'll have to be in the kitchen 4 a.m. cooking up.
You've seen the bear. You know the crackers.
I have seen the bear, and I would say that NXT is probably more like season 3 of the bear than 1 or 2.
Calm.
I actually still liked season 3. I don't know why people got upset with it.
I was into it. I'm excited for the next
especially the
well.
pretentious Trent Reznor episode with the music, where it was like nothing happened apart from. It was the best.
I just couldn't believe the bear was poaching eggs.
It's the cooler. I mean, I would go and see a wrestling show at 9:30. Why not? Sounds fun.
We're going to do an early-ish one, aren't we, me and you? We're going to try and get...
No, I'm not going to that. Oh, no, wait. Well, yes, we're going to Pandemonium Pro, which is, I think, 11.
That's not bad. That's a nice time.
Yeah,
that's a nice time for your WrestleMania.
Looking forward to seeing Shelton Benjamin versus Kevin Blackwood in the main event. And the stars of CMLL and more. Looks fun. Can't wait. Right, what's next? Okay, we're going to talk... You seen this? You seen this? You heard of this?
Only when you were telling me about it before we came in.
This is so weird. What are they doing? So somebody on Reddit has pointed out that WWE are going back and adding chants to old shows. So the example that they took a clip is from WrestleMania 40. It's the tag team ladder match, one of them. And there's a moment where everyone's down and all of this during the match. There's nothing in the ring apart from a ladder that's like kaput. And there's a really obviously fake "This is awesome" chant over the top. We were in the building for these shows, so you know. It's so canned, it's unbelievable. This is awesome. And you know, with these things, you can tell the acid test for these things is if are the crowd moving,
Yeah.
right? Is it reflected in the crowd's actions? If you hear this is awesome and everyone's sitting there, it's clearly not real. And that's the case with this. So this is an interesting one to talk about, I think, because Netflix, I don't know if it's Netflix or WWE, but since WWE programming moved on to Netflix, they've made some weird choices with their audio editing. The censors are probably the weirdest one for me, because every week on Raw there seems to be a chant with a nasty word in it, and they'll say the chant is "you're a moron," right? And they're censoring moron. It'll be "you're a," they'll mute it the first time, and then they'll do it like a second after, so you hear the swear, and then it's all over the shop. This is a weird thing to do. I don't like piped in noise. I don't like fake chants, all of that stuff. I think it subverts the art form of pro wrestling. The point of pro wrestling is to elicit a reaction from your live audience primarily. So when you do this fake nonsense, to me that's not pro wrestling. This is fake rubbish. And I can't understand why would you do this? Why? It was at WrestleMania 40. It's not like it was a quiet night at the office. It's just weird. What do you think?
I want to try and claim every single moment. Yeah, this took me back to the very first time I ever noticed this in action from WWE, WWF back then, which is, for old heads, and I know it's your favourite, the Royal Rumble 1992 finds Sid tossing out Hulk Hogan, and the tide was turned on the Hulkster, and as a result, people were just pretty excited to see Sid throw him out, and it was like there was almost a sense of, oh, we'll go with him now, or at very least go with Ric Flair, who was about to win the match. Then, when they replayed it on Superstars and Challenge over the coming weeks, you saw the fans going nuts for Sid throwing him out. Boo was the noise. Like the two things, just as you point out about their silence, just completely do not connect with one another. You were just watching this thing, and I remember even then, or like certainly in the aftermath on videos, and the like, I was saying, wait a second, what's going on with that? So it does kind of like speak to the kind of the DNA within the company of being way more concerned about this as a like archive television product than anything else. The sort of other ones in recent years, you know when. What's an example? You know, like how when Jack Swagger took so many hours to dislodge the briefcase at WrestleMania 26, that was actually what made WrestleMania 2 night event. That was how that happened. Then when you watch it back now, they've cut that in half, and there's like noise playing in between the splice as well to make it seem like the audience are going crazy for Jack. Watching live, Jesus Christ, that guy. Like, never mind the ladder match, the biggest fight he has is with that hook. Like, so like they've always had that little thing where when you're watching something live, you know that you'll probably never see that version again because the cleanup crew will be on it. This is a weirder level still.
It's weird.
We are not talking about.
It's like the least important match on WrestleMania as
well. Yeah, and
like
a Netflix kind of chasing Netflix/WWE. Are they chasing this sort of like this version of perfection with hoping to catch new viewers that is simply like impossible to keep up live? Like no audience would be expected to have all the energy for all the matches all the times, no matter how much they're conditioned by the TV shows to do so.
It's a weird trend, and like it is, and they do it these days when the crowds are so engaged anyway. It's a bit peculiar to me. There was a Logan Paul promo the other week where they did it, and it was like they were going for the aspect of, oh, the boos are so loud he can't speak. Mm-hmm. It was the segment with that bad comedian. What's his name?
Oh yeah,
Andrew Schultz.
That guy.
The
Dominic Mysterio one worked organically, so they thought let's do that with 5 different people.
Yeah. This is it, and the thing is, like with Dominic, they definitely did it at the start. But then people kind of caught on and went, this is fun. And this guy's an asshole. So they didn't need to do it anymore, right? They tried it with the New Day quite a lot after their big angle as well. It's just weird. I mean, personally, like I think a lot of people don't care, and that's fine. We can disagree. But for me, it subverts the art of pro wrestling, and I don't enjoy it. And I wish they would stop doing it. It
doesn't bother me loads, but I find the historic one a weird choice. Like this Netflix archive, I'm seeing it through my kids. Like this has had anecdotally this like impact where they're wanting to go back and rewatch old stuff. So I know what they're doing. Like they're going to sort of elevate more people's status in the eyes of new viewers, even if, as you say, the second you start looking at faces in the crowd.
And there's a lot of people won't have the like the eye to recognize when it's happening as well. I really enjoy this description of WWE. It's not mine. I heard it years ago, but the idea that WWE is more of a TV show about wrestling than a wrestling show makes a lot of sense when you consider things like this.
It's never been true of that, has it?
Yeah, and it's a very unique product for sure.
Yeah. So is Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling.
Certainly a uniquely run operation.
It will always be TNA, and we have a new update and a bit of a sort of follow-on from something we were discussing on Friday's news when we were talking about, obviously, Gail Kim being one of the names released from the company. This is all from Fightful, who were able to add that, firstly on the Gail Kim thing, I'll just point out, when we inquired about misinformation reporting regarding Gail Kim and TNA, we learned the rumours of Gail Kim and Ariel Sharon giving Carlos Silva the ultimatum to choose between them didn't happen.
Oh.
So, whether or not there was obviously, it sounds like there were disputes between Kim and Sherna, nonetheless, but it wasn't a sort of, right, him or me, her or me, both of you. That didn't work out like that. They were potentially going to go all the way. Which, again, speaks to TNA being a weird old company, because Fightful also added in the same rundown, several sources within TNA claim that the company was doubled the TNA Plus subscribers over the last year, much in part to many of the marketing names that were fired. So, thanks for doing a good job in doubling our numbers. Yeah, guys. It's just weird. Like, the world can be a brutal and unfair place, and it does sound like some people that have done the jobs that were required of them have then just been cast aside. And we talked at length about Gail Kim ultimately because we know her now, but this happens in wrestling companies all the time. I'm often moved to think, as we hit yet another anniversary of it, it's like just past 24 years of WCW going out of business, and all of us always talking about all the wrestlers on the massive guaranteed Turner deals, and not speaking about the regular office folk, the crew, the whatever, that just overnight lost their jobs.
Yes.
Like that never, and it's the reality of when you know star names and when you don't. But this seemingly is the case here, like TNA in a number of different areas has been able to, and so it should, by the way, promote and parrot its growth over the last couple of years. The WWE relationship feels like that's sort of blossoming for them. You're seeing these images that are being posted of these impressive looking houses for the company. Look, it's not pulling up trees, it's TNA, it's the number 3 by a distance, but it's wearing that honour quite proudly, and it's at the very least a far cry from the mid-2010s Impact Wrestling, blue roped, empty buildings, hollow. You can hear people's phones buzzing on their chairs when they get a text, that kind of stuff. It has made strides. TNA Plus subscribers seems part of that, and the people have been rewarded with their pink slips.
Yeah,
not great.
No, not at all. And it's like, you look at every single time now there's a TNA pay-per-view or a big event, somebody will share a photo of the arena and it's packed. And granted, these aren't like, 20,000 seat buildings, but it's a clear sign of progress.
Connecting with the base, aren't they?
And it's like, it's quite frustrating because they've succeeded in a lot of ways over the past year or so. The subscribers there is a good metric. The attendances, that's a good metric. There is, this isn't tangible. It's not really something you can measure, but it does feel like there's a bit more buzz about it online than there has been in recent years. And then they do things like fire Gail Kim and fire other people as well. That, I think his name's Raphael Morphy, was the event guy for AEW. He was doing some consulting, I think, for TNA. He was Lyco as well. And when you think of like those photos of the buildings and they're all full and they look really nice, you wonder what kind of positive impact did he have, and then he's gone. It's just weird. They keep doing these things, man. Like bringing Tessa Blanchard back and stuff. And look, she's a good wrestler, but come on, that's a lot of
dicey business.
That's a lot of PR baggage, shall we say, to deal with as well. So yeah, I don't know, they make these decisions, and look, obviously we're on the outside, like Stained. We're on the outside. We're not here for you, but I can see through you. Jokes aside, we're not in this company. We don't know. We haven't seen budgets and balances and things. Yeah. Maybe they needed to cut some costs or whatever, but on the outside, it looks kind of rough.
It's kind of stained. It does. Shame.
It is stained.
All the best if you're obviously any one of these people that might be watching, or for that matter, a TNA fan.
Or Stained.
Or Stained, indeed. Or a TNA fan. I don't know. Something kicking up. I don't know if it's so good, Al. I can't remember. But it's all the stories end that way now, don't they? I think that's pretty good. You don't want to look under that rock.
Aaron Lewis has done some stuff.
I think he might have done. If you're a TNA fan, you are very much used to this disorder as well. That's the reality of it, I think, isn't it? So yeah, keep on keeping on.
It's kind of, and here's the thing about TNA, it's here forever.
Yeah.
It's here for, and that's good. That's good because wrestling needs options. So it's just, we're far removed from the days of Vince Russo returning in private and secretly and stuff like that.
Wrong emails getting sent.
Yeah. But hey, what a weird sport this is.
Yeah.
It's strange. Anyway, hey, thank you for joining us for this video here. If you missed this morning's news video, we're talking about Triple H crying, Drew McIntyre's eyeball, but a whole bunch of interesting stuff. It's right here. You're going to want to click on it, you wee bumpo. Aye, I'll see you later.
Yeah, boy. This town.